Justin car inbound. You're out of line, dirtbag. Engaging suspect. Stop resisting. Eyes on the target. I am the death sentence.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are playing Kayle today, a late game hyper carry. So for how it works is that you start off as a melee champion. At level 6 you get your range form, and then at level 11 and 16 that's why she becomes really strong. Despite being a late game champ, she can be really strong early game guys, and that's because of a passive that gives her so much attack speed, and then when you combine that with the lethal tempo, you can see what happens when people try to fight you. So she has a very strong early game if you go for these extended fights where you can really stack up their passive. So her level 1 is actually pretty similar to something like a Jax or Darius, where you absolutely do not want to auto tag trade with them. But other than that, her landing phase is pretty weak. As you get more levels and stuff, then people can start abusing you more. You start off with your E, so that's like a ranged single target damaging ability that does not cost mana. So this is what you want to use to last hit with. It is also an auto attack reset. So if you have something like press the attack, then you can get the damage off really fast. But lethal tempo is what makes her a true hyper carry. It's pretty similar to the old Kayle before she got reworked. She has insane amount of damage, as you can see right here. Even against an early game champion like the Renekton, you'll be able to fight him just because of the lethal tempo. Your Q is an ability that will extend if it collides with a target. It deals AoE damage, it slows people, and then it also shreds their armor and magic resistance for 4 seconds. So try to use this at the start before you're going to initiate and stuff, because then you can really abuse that defensive stats. And then you have the W, which is going to heal you and an ally. It heals you and it also gives you bonus movement speed. This makes Kayle also really good in team fights because you also provide a lot of utility. And of course this scales with AP. So that's why AP Kayle, you can go AD Kayle, you can also go AP. AP Kayle is a lot more consistent because you also have this extra utility. And AD Kayle is just pure damage. That of course also works, but you have 2 options that you can choose from. And it depends on your team comp. If you have a lot of AP, then of course you can go AD as well, so people don't counter you as hard. But yeah, that's that. And then landing phase. If you're not able to fight the opponent in all ends, extended fights, you just want to stay back. Your main goal is to farm up. You want to get level 11 and 16. Those are the big power spikes for Kayle. That's what you have to play around. So the best case scenario is if the opponent pushes the lane, and then you can just farm under the tower. Use that E to last hit minions that you would otherwise not be able to reach, especially when they try to zone you away. Just stay back and last hit. Something like Renekton becomes really difficult as he gets level 3 and he gets to stack up that passive. That's why you want to be really careful. Even though we were able to fight him early on, that's because we get to fight him with a fully stacked passive. And if you can do that, then you can already see the insane amount of DPS you have with lethal tempo. So we got the level 6, so now you count as a ranged champion. That means that the new lethal tempo changes. They nerfed it for melee champs and buffed it for ranged ones. Since we count as a ranged champion now, then it's pretty much a buff. And so you get the range form, and then the active is this ability that you can use that blocks out all damage. You can use it on allies or yourself, but you will be locked out from using other abilities or auto attacking while that ultimate is going on. And after a short delay, then your ultimate also deals damage. This is not a Tryndamere ultimate, meaning that you don't want to use this when you're low HP. You want to use it for when the opponent is going to use some heavy bursting ability on you, like super important abilities. Typically the ultimates, like a Darius, if he ults you, that's why you want to use it and stuff. You don't want to save this until the end. So you need to have really good reaction time, and you also need to know what the opponent has and how they can kill you. For example, against the Renekton, when he's going all in, you want to use your ultimate when he has that rage bar fully stacked up, the fury bar. And when he's going to use his empowered damaging abilities, that's why it can be really good to use your ultimate. So that's how you want to use it. So some of these matchups become a lot easier when you get your range form, because then you can just stay back without having to walk up. When you push for towers, remember to use that E as an auto attack reset, because then the damage comes off a lot faster, allowing you to push faster and also get those tower plates faster. Your number one priority when playing Kayle is to scale up. You want to farm and scale up. You will not be able to pick up kills like solo kills every single game. That is not going to happen every single time. The only consistent thing you can do is to farm up. So prioritize doing that. And if your jungler is trying to contest skull crabs and such, most of the time you're not able to help him. And it's his own fault anyway, because people should know when they have a kill, she does not have a strong early game. She wants to play it safe. So that is something your jungler has to play around. And of course, when you have a lead, then of course you can help your jungler, but when you don't, then you really want to be careful. And this lethal tempo is absolutely insane on Kayle. This is what makes her feel a lot like the old Kayle before she got reworked. She had insane amount of damage, and that is what you have right now. You just need your items. So on Kayle, you want the 3 item power spike. So with boots, you want the Nashor's Tooth, and then you also want the Rift Maker. Once you have these items, that's why you become insane. And it's only going to get better from there as you get your transformations at level 11 and 16. 16 is the big power spike, similar to like a Kassadin. So that's what you want to play for. And when you're top lane and you get your range form against the Bruiser, then of course you'll be able to bully them a lot from level 6. Just want to keep pushing here. That passive is really useful for pushing out the waves, but you don't have the wave clear just yet. That's something you're going to get at level 11, so that's also big spike, very important spike. So you really want to get that as soon as possible, because that's why you get a lot more AoE damage, meaning that you get a lot more damage to the minions as well as the enemy champions. Just push for the plates. We want the Nashor's Tooth as the first item. So of course control wards does not work against Talon, but what I did right here is that I control warded this brush right here, so they would lose vision of me, so they could not target me afterwards. But you can see what happens if you use this ultimate right. You want to use it to counter their main damaging ability. In this case, Talon's passive and his combos. If you do that, then his damage is gone. There's like cooldowns before you can use it again, and that's when you can trade back. So you can do this stuff to really trade back. Just remember, on Kayle you want to be really selfish, meaning that you want to use that ultimate for yourself mostly. You can use it to save teammates, but in the later stages of the game you're going to be the main carry. So if you can keep yourself alive, then there's a very high chance that you can carry the fight by yourself. So that's why you want to keep this ultimate for yourself most of the time. Now we got the first core item. The Nashor's Tooth of course gives you a lot of attack speed and a lot of damage as well. And then the Rift Maker, that is going to be the second big spike. These two items are what you play for, and normally if you play in the mid lane or if you're playing against a difficult matchup top lane, that's why you start really destroying people. You don't help your teammates that much on Kayle because it's a scaling champion like a Kassadin. So you just want to farm up. If people ARAM, then you cannot do much. That's something you don't have any control over. So just focus on staying in your lane. If you can't get kills, just farm up. And Kayle, especially if you play her mid lane, then the enemy mid laner might just try to shove you in and then roam. If they do that, of course you don't really want to follow most of the time. You just stay mid and then just try to push out the wave as fast as possible and then try to take the plates. because if you get the plates, then you can punish that room.
Only the divine may judge.
Of course, Renekton is not able to match our damage anymore because he ended us in the early game. So our damage is through the roof right now. We're just gonna absolutely shred anyone in a 1 versus 1. And this lethal tempo feels so good on kill. It has perfect synergy. Combine that with your passive, you get insane amounts of attack speed. Always remember to use your E as an auto attack reset, because that makes the damage comes out really fast. So if the opponent is low HP, if you do it like that, then most of the time you'll be able to surprise them. And then maybe you can pick up a few kills you would otherwise not be able to do. This is especially useful when they have flash or something else up, movement abilities and such, that you get this damage off as fast as possible before they get to react to it. Now we got level 11, the second form. So when your passive is fully stacked, then your auto attacks are going to form these flame waves, dealing AoE damage, and then your E is also AoE now. So this is the point where you get some wave clear. Now you can really start shoving the opponent in, especially if you play in the mid lane, where people normally have good wave clear. Now you also have that, so now you're much better at punishing those rooms. The damage is ridiculous for those flame waves, and they also buffed Kayle, making the flame wave skills with the bonus attack range. So this champion feels really strong right now. The only thing is that you kind of rely on your teammates in the early game. You rely on them not running it down. You can still win if they do, but the game is going to be a lot harder compared to other champions who are strong in the early to mid game. But if you get level 11 like this, where the game is somewhat even, or if you are ahead, then it should be a free win. It's like a Kassadin and Vladimir in the late game, where if you let Kayle get level 16, she's gonna solo carry the game. And she's very strong as a split pusher, but she's also very strong as a team fighter. So it's a champion that has both. Just keep split pushing in the silence, that's what I do a lot on Kayle. Especially if you're able to kill the enemy laner, because that's how you can pressure a lot. But you can also roam and help your teammates when you get your items. But you really want to get these high CS numbers, because farming is so important, and even more important when you play scaling champions, because they don't have that much pressure in the early game. So the only consistent thing you can do is to farm up. You can see that damage is absolutely not balanced. And then when you get level 16, the passive buff is going to be permanent, and then you also get extra auto attack range, and then you combine that with the lethal tempo bonus auto attack range, and that's going to be ridiculous. That's like having a permanent rapid fire cannon passive. So just go ahead and recall here. Now we got the Rift Maker. So this is the spike I talked about. The main spike on Kayle, besides the level 11 and 16. The item spike is the Nash's Tooth and the Rift Maker. As soon as you have these two items, that's why you can start forcing stuff. Because now you have a lot of damage. Now is when you really start trading with the opponent, start permanently shoving them in, and this is also where you can go for those 1 versus 2s. You can of course also take away the jungle camps. You can do those really fast, especially when you get their flame waves from level 11. So do that as well. Sometimes your jungler might not like it, so be careful not doing it if you know they're going to get tilted from it, because then they might just leave the game or something, and then you're going to lose. But that does not mean that you cannot take away the enemy jungle camps. So when you show out the wave and you can't do anything else, just walk into the enemy jungle, get down some vision, take out their vision, and then take out the jungle camps as well. You see Renekton is trying to help out his team. We are not following up on that, instead we are pushing for the objectives because this is how you want to punish them. If you see them roaming, this is how you gotta punish. Take out the waves, shove it in instantly and then try to take down the towers. Because now the entire top side is up. That means that if we win a team fight in the later stages, then we can use the top side to end the game. We can also take down the inhibitor and then they will always be pressured by that one lane, allowing us to go for other objectives like the mid or bot lane towers, the dragons, the Rift Herald, Baron, Elder Drake and so on. We need a little bit more than 2 levels that we're going to get the ultimate power spike on Kayle. And that's why she becomes a late game god. She's just going to absolutely shred everybody, guys. The damage is insane, and when you group up with Kayle and play in team fights, she's also the ultimate counter to assassins because of that ultimate. So she has insane damage and she's also insane at peeling her teammates. You have sustain on W, movement speed buff and sustain for yourself and an ally. You have that ultimate that makes them unkillable, you have a slow on your Q. So you can already tell how strong this champion is going to be. But of course, normally if you are even or behind and you're going for a fight with the opponent, of course try to stack up their passive first, because that gives you a lot of attack speed. You can see our CS per minute is absolutely insane. We have way more than 10 CS per minute right now, and the only way you can achieve this is by constantly picking up the waves in the side lane while also farming the jungle camps. That is how you get this lead. If you become good at doing this, guys, you should be able to carry most of your games, even if your teammates are running it down. Because it is extremely rare that people get to have this high farm on the enemy team. So if you can do that, then it does not matter that you don't have any kills, because you have such a big goal lead just from farming alone. Now we got the Sonya's Hourglass, that is of course for extra safety. So on top of having that ultimate, we also have the Sonya's active, so now we can also ult the teammates and still keep ourselves safe. This is going to completely counter assassins, and of course also makes AD champions deal less damage to you because you have that extra armor. And then you also get some ability haste, which is of course nice for all of your abilities, including that ultimate. So we got the entire top side, there are no towers left, meaning that we don't have anything else to do in the top side, so we can just go bot now and then we can pressure for this tier 2. Slowly take down the towers, just want to pressure as much as possible from the side lanes. Just keep pushing. Always remember to use that E as an auto attack reset when you trade, when you farm, and especially when you push for objectives. You can see she's taking down towers really fast. So this champion is absolutely insane as a team fighter and split pusher. It is a champion that has both of these strengths, and that is not a lot of champions who has that. Keep pushing, almost level 16, and that's where the fun part really begins. Because Kayle level 16 is like a castle in level 16, it's just game over. Legendary Kayle. At 20 minutes in the game, that is not going to happen all the time, but that is not that important, guys. What you have to focus on is farming well. You can see I have really high CS per minute, and that is only because I'm focusing on myself mostly and not really trying to help out my teams that much. I'm trying to get myself as far ahead as possible. And you do that by spending as much time in silence and also taking away jungle camps. That's going to give you such a big gold and XP lead. Almost level 16, that is the Exodia power spike. This champion becomes absolutely unkillable, and there we go, we got it. So what happens right now is that you get extra auto attack range, and then that passive is permanently stacked. You don't have to stack it anymore, you get it permanently. So I have ridiculous amount of damage. On top of having that damage, you also get that permanent attack speed and mobility, guys. That is insane. You're going to be so strong, and you should be able to destroy most champions in a 1 versus 1. Even 1 versus 2s and so on. So as soon as you get this form, then it's GG's. And now we also got a Rapidus death cap in a single purchase. Getting a lot of AP right now, and that's of course because the ability skill off of AP, especially that W. So that's going to heal you for a lot and also give you a lot of bonus movement speed. That is really OP in team fights because you also work as a support that can heal up your teammates whenever they're low HP. But at the same time, you're also a hyper carry. So my teammates are also doing well this game. That obviously is not going to happen every single game. And for the games where you are getting injured, the best thing you can do is to farm up, guys. Some games will be lost no matter what. Nothing you can do about it. But there are games where you're getting stomped and you can still win it. The only consistent way of you winning these games is by farming up. Focus on getting really high CS per minute. And remember what I said, the way you do that, be in the silence, constantly pick up these waves, focus mostly on yourself, and then make sure that you also take away the jungle camps. It's going to be super fast as soon as you hit that level 11, because you get AoE damage, meaning that you can shred the camps almost instantly. Now I just gotta push for the end, of course Kayle after level 16, free win, guys. Most champions will not be able to match that damage and that range as well. You become really good at kiting and you're gonna absolutely burst people. You have high DPS, but you also have insane burst damage on AP Kayle. Just look at that auto attack range. It's going to be even better when you have fully stacked lethal tempo. But this is how you play Kayle, guys. I hope this was helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching and see y'all in the next video.